Welcome to Golf Weekly. Again, I'm your host, Daniel Cort, and joined by my panel of experts again. Chris Hendrix with the Golf Store Outlet. Chris.
Good to see you, Daniel.
Good to see you. Chris Tremblay.
Always nice to be here, Daniel.
Island Golf School JPGA.
Exciting week in golf, no doubt about it.
It sure is, and let me tell you, let's start to talk about the big news. I just said before we came on we could do a whole show on this, but 2012, it took a long time, 80 years, to have this come to fruition, but Augusta National has let female members into the club. Guys, Condi Rice, who we all know, former Secretary of State, and Darla Bonner, who is a very philanthropic financier out of South Carolina.
She's a vice president of Rainwater.
Rainwater,
I think her husband is actually the president, yeah.
Good friend of, I think, the chairman emeritus and Hootie Johnson. We're giving memberships to Augusta National, the most elite membership in the world. Guys, what do you think?
I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's long overdue. I think it definitely helps promote golf a little bit more. You know, we want to get more people into the game, and hopefully something like this will bring it a little bit more to the forefront, and those things will continue to happen.
Well, and this, we were talking before we came on, this was a big scuttlebutt, a big mess, actually, back in 2003 when Martha Burke had gotten on the horn and rallied a lot of support behind the women's movement, and, you know, had a lot of pretty founded ground to do so, but the club exercised its rights and says we're a private club. We exercise our rights to govern ourselves as we will, and it took another 9 years for this to happen. Do you remember that?
I remember it. Yeah, and you know, I think it really just made Hootie mad.
Right.
I think he felt like he didn't want to be strong-armed and bullied, you know.
Well, at the time, you know, Hootie Johnson was the chairman, and Hootie was certainly somebody that when he's in charge, and nobody's going to tell him how to run his ship.
Exactly, and they lost CBS coverage, what, for 2 years?
Yeah.
Because of, you know.
Well, and, you know, we live in a different world, and a very politically correct world where there's a lot of sensitivities to those things. And,
exactly.
You know, the point I thought that really resonated with me, even though I thought it could have probably been carried out a little bit differently or a little bit better, was that, you know, there's a lot of money involved in this, and women support the game in many areas just as much and sometimes more with the youth, driving their kids to all the tournaments and
First Tee program.
Not to mention what the LPGA now is.
Well, I think that's why it's so important. You know, women are a part of the game that are still growing. They're really probably the only growing entity in the game right now.
Right.
And to get these two wonderful ladies in there, I think is such a big step. And, you know, unfortunately, I think that the Martha Burke thing actually worked in reverse, because I think by her going ahead and doing what she did, it actually slowed down the process, because it made a lot more of the people who decide things there at Augusta want it to be that they're going to do it in their own sweet time. That's and because you've just gone ahead and done what you've done, we're going to extend our own sweet time. But, you know, Billy Payne, he's a little bit more, I think, of a progressive thinker. I think this is something that has been on his agenda. But, you know, at any club like that, it's going to take a little bit of time for something to happen. Their names are going to come up at Augusta, and, you know, names come up at Augusta, and they take a little while before, you know, those bubbles get to the top and, in fact, for lack of a better term, get invited in, and it's very nice to see that they were invited in. I think that that's a great thing.
And you mentioned Billy Payne. You know, they said when he came in, he was going to be sort of that director, that chairman that moved them into that progressive mindset toward change. And before we move on, you know, let's don't kid ourselves. These aren't just everyday run-of-the-mill women that
these are exceptional
that they invited
ladies.
in. These are exceptional ladies.
Exceptional in the business world and politics. I also know that Miss Rice is actually a great player. They said she played down to like a 10 or single, maybe.
That's right.
And she's currently a political economics professor at Stanford University. That's what she's doing now. So she's still out there working.
Yeah, pretty impressive to add those two names.
And she's got a few. They said she has a few memberships to a couple of other really exclusive private clubs.
Yeah.
I don't know the names off the top of my head, but I was just reading some, and they said she was invited into several courses.
Well, not that Augusta National needs my or anybody else's vote of confidence, or to sound patronizing, but good for Augusta National. They made the right move, and I look forward to more of this moving forward.
Definitely.
A couple more things. We got about a minute and a half. U.S. Amateur concluded this week. What happened there?
Very exciting event. Stephen Fox, a senior-to-be at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, in 37 holes, defeated Michael Weaver, who goes to Cal. Weaver had a 2-up lead with 2 left. Fox birdied 17 to cut it to 1. Weaver had a 5-footer do a 270 or do a full horseshoe on him on the last hole that he thought was in the hole.
In his dreams for a while?
He was giving it the fist pump because he thought it was in. It was hit maybe a little too firm. It came out. Then
you
they went to the 37.
You never quick call a putt, do you?
You never take that victory step. You wait till the ball goes through the hole before you take that victory step. And Fox ended up winning. And, you know, the thing was that both of those players had to get into a playoff, a 17-person for 14-spot playoff.
To get in.
Just to get into the match play portion. So, you know, it goes to show you how well-rounded the world of amateur golf is right now. And actually in the World Golf Amateur rankings, Fox, out of the 2 of them, was the highest ranked at 127.
Wow.
So he wasn't even in the top 100, neither one of them, in the World Golf Amateur rankings, and both of them made it to the finals. So once again, it shows you the balance that's out there.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to a former Furman alumni, friend of mine, and Hilton Head Island high school teacher, Todd White, who got to the round of 32 in this event. So our local boys are doing well. Kevin King and he also, and John Patterson, all Island guys, qualified for the U.S. Mid-Am coming next month. Real quick, Sergio Garcia, first win in 8 years this past week in Greensboro.
He wanted to make sure that the
he's on the
coach, Jose Maria, I golf my ball, goes ahead and knows that he's out there and he's trying. He desperately wants to be part of that team. So I think he went ahead and solidified himself a spot yesterday with his win up at the Wyndham.
That's
playing great, you know, played great overseas, and this is really what he needed.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see that Ryder Cup in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, man, this goes fast. That's all the time we have this segment. We're going to come back. We'll be joined by Matt Stewart, head golf pro at Dolphin Head. Stay with us.